Happy Tuesday night as the world continues to crumble. Here we go. Let's see if we get the 5x5. Looks like Jacob's still out medically, so might just have the three mods in here. So let's see if y'all can see me and hear me, and we'll be good. Checks 2mix1 is the new champion with the 5x5s. There we go. Good evening, guys. I hope you all are enjoying the cool weather. Obviously, a little bit of garden information, a little bit of politics today, and of course, some sad news from JW Survival. But thank you all for everybody who reached out to him with prayers and contributions and anything like that. That really shows the kind of family we are. So. Okay, so I want to start tonight with a little intel that I got from Mountaintop Prepper. Okay, I mentioned them; they're friends of mine up the mountain here. And she called me this evening, about an hour ago, and had mentioned that a couple of, we'll just use the term customers, that she spoke with today. First one's husband worked for Pepsi, okay, bottling plant or whatever, and they were over for dinner over the weekend, and she had mentioned that they couldn't find cases of Pepsi, that the only thing they could get, Diet Pepsi, the only thing they could get were 12 packs. And she talked to this customer today who, doesn't know she's a prepper or anything like that, but she says, oh yeah, my husband came home and they're having such problems. The other day they were supposed to be bottling Mountain Dew, and they couldn't bottle Mountain Dew because they didn't have the green plastic bottles, so they had to bottle something else. I was talking about how they're so short on different supplies, and they're basically producing whatever they currently have. That's it. Even if they're scheduled to make one product, if they don't have everything they need, they'll just make another one, even if they've already got a full warehouse of it or whatever it would be. So, that goes back to what we were saying before of product scarcity is more than just the food or whatever it is. It could be the plastics, it could be the metals, it could be whatever. So then she mentioned a second customer who worked at Kroger grocery store. I figure everybody knows that. So, they're also Ralph's or Smith's, or there's, they own like about 10 different stores or 10 different franchises or brand, whatever you want to call them. And she said that just like what we've all mentioned talking about is, the stores remodeling, in other words, spreading the shelves out some more, because they don't have any product or enough product to have all the shelves filled. And she said corporate is insistent on them keeping the profit margins up, obviously, because they're responsible to shareholders, because Kroger is a publicly traded company. So they were laying people off. Well, of course, when they're laying people off, the work still has to get done. So then you had the existing employees asked to do 2, 3, 4 times their normal work. And I'm not necessarily saying work 80, 120, 160 hours. I'm saying just do 3 times the job in your same 40 hours. Okay. Well, that's causing a bunch of people to quit. And so then what she was saying as well is that you're now getting management to quit because it's getting very frustrating for them when customers come in and say, gee, I'm looking for honeydew melons. I'm just making something up here. You don't have any honeydew melons. When are you going to get those in? And the managers are getting fed up and saying, I don't know, and explaining all the time why they don't have the product on the shelf that people are looking for. And she was saying that, there's been weeks where they haven't got a truck at all to supply anything. Now, mind you, where she is, this is in Knoxville. Okay, this isn't Podunk, Tennessee. This is in a major town, major city. Okay. And she says, sometimes a truck will come in and it'll be full of candles and paper plates, no food, So this is what we were all talking about, say, 6 months ago. And I even noticed a couple of comments in here where people are saying, well, the store shelves are still full. The prices have just gotten higher. Yes, the store shelves still look good. The warehouses are empty. That's the problem. The stuff's coming in the front door, and literally there is no picking list or whatever store ordered 82 cases of oranges and 12 cases of cabbage, and the warehouse goes, well, we got 50 cases of oranges, that's what we're sending them. So it's literally coming in the front door and going right out the back door, put on a truck, and it's like, this is what you get. That's where we're getting to, guys. And, we're in the middle of harvest season now for farmers and everything. So you're still seeing some of that produce or all, it's on the shelf. Wait till it's December. Wait till it's January and the stuff ain't there. And I was mentioning to her, I said, I'm hoping that maybe part of this is there's a lot of people stealth prepping, hey, we need to put something back. And, instead of having a week's worth of groceries in the house, maybe now they have a month's worth of groceries in the house. They're actually putting something back. And maybe that's causing a little bit of it. Don't know. That's a hope on my part. But, just think when all of a sudden the stores get no trucks for 2 weeks and all of a sudden the pickings are really slim, that's when it's going to be the snowball effect is, oh my God, did you go to the store today? I got the last 3 cans of pork and beans they had. Crap, honey, I'm going to the store right now to get whatever we can. And you think that toilet paper run last year was crazy. Wait till that happens. Okay. That's very possible what's coming up. And I know it's no big shock to hear on any prepping channel is get your food. But, when you start hearing the stories more and more about what's going on beside the fact of, gee, there's, weather that's causing problems or whatever it would be, when you start hearing about the warehouse problems or the plastic problems or things, then you really start taking consideration to it. Now, I know another one we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, was getting out and getting your winter clothes or whatever. If you need new jeans, if you need new shirts, whatever it would be, get out and get them. And hopefully everybody did. In case anybody saw this today, cotton prices hit a 10-year high today. Okay, highest they've been since 2011. Cotton prices have nearly doubled since the beginning of COVID, since March of 2020. March of 2020, cotton prices were about 50 cents a pound. Today they broke $1. So you can expect your t-shirts, your blue jeans, your hoodies, whatever it would be, to be a lot more expensive. So if you have the ability to get those now, get them now, because as the clothing makers have to eat that, they're passing that on to you. And then, of course, the final thing that we have is our illustrious 46. His trust level on everybody's favorite crisis is now down at 45%. Less than half of the country believes anything the White House says about the last 18 months. How about that one? Okay. This guy, the old joke, he could screw up a wet dream. He's got the anti-Midas touch. Anything he touches turns to shit. There's no other way to put it. So, but yeah, that's just kind of some of the stuff that I saw today, heard today, all that. So just kind of wanted to give you the update on all of this. Okay, so looks like we are 3 mods again. Robert's here, North Shore's here, Lucky Dame is here. So thank you all 3 for being here and keeping the riffraff out. Wow, not a single thumbs down yet. I'm shocked. Maybe all the trolls are finally getting the idea. But yes, if you're here to troll, don't plan on having a long lifespan in here because these guys will erase you in a heartbeat. There is no 300-second timeout. You're just gone. So we keep it clean. We are a family in here. We keep it PG-13. You want to disagree? That's totally cool. You want to be rude? Forget it. You're gone. Okay? Lots and lots and lots of good people in this family. I like to keep it that way. We try to help each other as best we can. We don't need trolls. So, okay. That being said, I've heard that the seed boxes are still moving on along. I've got a couple of emails here today that they've been shipped out again. So I think we're 6 or 7 people deep on a couple of the boxes I sent, and the ones that Voodoo and Treasure Seeker sent, they're a couple, 3 people deep. So things are moving along. Keep an eye out. But guys, if you receive the box and pick out what you want, replace it, please email me when you send it to the next person so we can kind of track where it is and everything like that and kind of know what we're doing. But we got to keep that box moving because here we are at the end of September already. So, all right, get into Q&A. 10 minutes, that's not too bad tonight. But as per normal, if you've got questions for me, please all in caps. If you want to have conversations amongst yourselves, which I'm totally cool with because God knows I don't have all the answers. If those are in lowercase, that just helps me keep things going along because I just look for the stuff in uppercase. If you try to ask me something in lowercase, I'm going to tell you this, guys, I won't see it because I'm just looking for capital letters and going down through the list. Start at the top, work my way down as quick as I can, get into what's going on, and answer as many as I can. If you don't hear your answer, please post it again. If I see it a second time, I'll just skip it. Don't worry. But I try to get to everything as I can, unless, of course, y'all know that it's a topic that I've got to tiptoe around. I've still got 2 strikes on the channel before one drops off in about 2 weeks. And I think, like you guys, I kind of like to keep this around. So I got to hold my tongue sometimes. All right, so let's get into this and see what's all on your mind tonight, because as usual, this is all for you guys, and we'll just see what I can do to help. 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 17. Pinball, did the military lose their gun rights if dishonorably discharged for no jab? Well, okay, here's the issue on this. If you are dishonorably discharged from the military, that is one of the criteria to, when you got to go do your background check, that is one of the criteria that will disqualify you from owning a firearm. Okay. Now, it has not been made official yet that if they don't get the vaccination, that they will get a dishonorable discharge. If that does happen, then yes, the people that are dishonorably discharged, if they are dishonorably discharged, if Biden pushes that fiasco through, and they do get a double D, then yes, they would be prevented from owning a firearm, which, like I said, that could be a nuance into, gee, if we're trying to purge the military of conservatives, we're trying to purge the veterans and everything, now can we also keep them from owning firearms? This may be a backdoor trick that they're trying. Whether it gets through, I don't know. Like I said the other day, you try to tell 99.9% of the military that, who've served honorably, that because they disagree with this mandate or whatever it is, and the military's literally forcing them out. They're not voluntarily trying to get out. They're being forced out. That's going to cause a lot of problems. I think there's going to be significant legal ramifications, and I know there are law firms that are already all over this, fighting this. So, but yeah, if you get a dishonorable discharge, yeah, you are prevented from owning a firearm. Okay, moving on down the list. Let's see. All the hellos. Okay. Raptor Ranch. Hello, everyone from Wisconsin, slicing onions for dehydrating and having a beer. Crying in my beer. There you go. Yeah. Reminds me of another country song there, crying in tears in my beer. Though I did find out a trivial thing that I didn't know about where I live in Tennessee today. The main highway that's 8 hours away from me, that's actually the old Thunder Road from the moonshining days. I didn't know that. So, big moonshining run from Kentucky down to Knoxville. Thought it was cool. Yeah, me doing research, go figure. Important stuff there. Treasure Seekers, Pepsi supplies my store. Took us a month to get 44-ounce cups and lids and 16-ounce cups and lids. And again, that's plastics. Same thing again. We're in an aluminum shortage, a plastic shortage. We don't even want to get into the fuel shortage, what's going on right now, because that is going to hit the U.S., guys. That's coming out today, that we are going to see a fuel shortage. So propane, natural gas, heating oil, gasoline. Freedom Reign. It seems all stores are remodeling. Yeah, it's interesting. You see the stories on other YouTube channels and what you see in your local area. All these stores, oh, we're remodeling, make it a better experience for you. It's like, stop with the bullshit, okay? You're widening the shelves. You're making it look better for you, so everybody doesn't start asking you where's all the food. Brandy F. Before the Industrial Revolution, barter was it. We found silver and gold, and small stores were created based on that. Yeah, and we could wind up back in that again. I mean, we talked the other day about the company store. I owe my soul to the company store. You know, like I said, what Bezos wants to do. With Amazon, that's what's coming. And I talked about it a while back. I said, you're going to wind up in tribes, 30, 40 people, maybe a neighborhood or something like that. And we could very well be back into a tribal economy very quickly. Big Bear Prepper 1. Did you add the 1 to your name? Went to the Dollar Tree today, and a lot of food shelves are very low or empty. I've talked to some people at the local Dollar General. Dollar General seems to be the big one around me. There is a couple of Dollar Trees. But they're saying the same thing. They may get a truck a week or something. And I've gone in there, and canned goods or whatever, the shelves are, scarce. There may be a couple of cans of something or whatever. They're full of birthday cards or whatever it is, but, there's, the foodstuffs that are in the dollar store have been sparse. Brandy F. Buy organic produce and save the seeds for the product. Yeah. Any way you can get seeds, guys, do it. And I'll say this again. She's saying organic produce. Here's a big catch to it. It has to be grown in the U.S. Okay, you're not going to take something that was grown in Mexico and save the seeds for it, because all the produce is irradiated when it comes across the border to kill anything that is in there, and then it also kills the seeds from being able to germinate. So, organic produce, yes. A lot of stuff you can buy at the regular grocery store doesn't necessarily have to be organic. I'll say garlic, for example. Okay, but you're better off buying it from a farmer's market or something where it's local, where it's not grown in Bolivia or something like that and says organic. So, that's the other thing to keep in mind with something like that. But any way at all you can save seeds, do it, because I kid you not where I say it may be the majority of your diet next year is what you're growing. M. Hammer, who's controlling this circus? Well, this circus, me. The United States circus, nobody. we don't. We all assume it's Obama. Is the one playing with the marionette that is Joe Biden. But yeah, it's anything that can be screwed up is screwed up. And we don't even want to talk about the financial side of things and the whole infrastructure bill, the debt ceiling. I get into that with tomorrow morning's video and what the ramifications are there for everything from food stamps to Social Security to God knows what. But yeah, who's controlling it? Wouldn't we all like to know? Small family, small budget. I went to Farmers close by and got seconds of tomatoes. I canned Sloppy Joe and tomato sauce yesterday. Yeah. There's the thing, guys. If you need seeds, who cares if it's an ugly tomato? Okay? It doesn't matter. It could be smashed. The seeds are still good. Okay? If all you're doing is going for the seeds, take the seeds, literally, if you got one tomato, you have enough seeds to plant a garden of tomatoes next year. Okay? There's 50 seeds in a tomato. I planted about 50 tomato plants this year, and we had tomatoes coming out our ears. I made salsa and chili and tomato soup and stewed tomatoes, and pickled tomatoes and God knows what. I mean, I can't tell you how many tomatoes we ate fresh, and I've still got tomatoes coming. So yeah, if you got one tomato and planted 50 tomato plants, you got all the tomatoes you could possibly need for at least for the two of us. You know, you got a family of 12 people, sure, I get it. Do 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 do. Lorna, there you go. She says, Pinball, I agree. We're all one big family here. We have your back. Yeah, we all have to have each other's. That's the thing, because well, I'll give you this one. It's going to come time, in 2.5 weeks here, we're doing the meetup down in Knoxville. Okay. And that's still on, guys. We're still all good to go from there. No problems with anything there. But, community's everything. And we all have to have each other's back, because every one of us is going to be in a different scenario when the balloon goes up, and the ability to know that somebody else is out there that'll have your back in case all your plans go hell-bent for leather, is a calming feeling. I mean, we all plan to take care of ourselves, but like I said, forest goes on fire, Chinese come over to hell, I gotta have somewhere to go, and that's what community's all about. Whoops, there we go, shot to the bottom. Let's see. Okay. Infamous infidel. A lot of Massachusetts state troopers are quitting because of the jab. Yeah, I covered that on the second video this morning today when I was talking about the National Guard coming in and everything like that. So yes, that is true. Chief Jim, would I tell my child to join the military? No. That's hard for me to say, okay? Because I told my daughter for years, if she wanted to, that was always a path she could take. I mean, she decided no, and she was a great student, so, no big deal. And we were able to pay for college. So, she worked, mom paid, I paid, and we got her through school. But with the wokeness of the military right now, and I think any veteran out there who's been out for at least 10 years will tell you the same thing. The military now is nothing like it was when we were in. And God knows it wasn't, when I was in the 80s, it wasn't anything like it was when the guys were in the 70s. It was already, it got a little softer. But, now, I'm surprised these guys don't have, fuzzy slippers that they have to polish at the end of the day. Oh, you didn't comb out the pink enough, give me 5 push-ups. Here's my yellow card, drill sergeant. Okay, don't worry about the push-ups. That's today's military. Or at least let's put it this way. I won't say that's today's military. That's what leadership in today's military wants it to be. Okay. Top brass. Okay. The generals and everything like that who are more concerned about gender equality than mission readiness. Voodoo Queen said her box is headed to Staten Island and then Pennsylvania, so that's where that one is moving on along. Aquaseek, and there's a good question. Has anyone ever had luck growing their own coffee beans in the mid to upper U.S. states? I've never even tried, okay? Maybe if you have a greenhouse or something like that, but coffee beans are grown mainly in South America. Like rainforest. I'm not professing to know by any means. I'm thinking, you're not going to be able to handle 50-degree nights or something. It'd have to be in a warm greenhouse. Would be the only thing I could think of. I don't know. Maybe you could do it indoors, but again, the question is how much. Think of anything else. When you grind it up, it becomes a lot smaller. How much coffee beans do you need to grow to make yourself 1 3-pound can of coffee? That's, yeah. I'm not using precious garden space, even if I could. I don't think. Brent Williams, think they'll raise the debt ceiling by 10/18. That's tomorrow's video. That's a lot of what's in there. 10/18, they have to raise the debt ceiling by Thursday. Okay, 10/18 is when the government runs out of money to pay our existing debt under the emergency provisions that they had. I mean, they literally have what 51 and a half hours here to raise the debt ceiling. So, I mean, government shuts down on Friday if they don't, and we run out of any money to pay any of the bills. Because I mean, if the debt ceiling is 29 trillion, let's just say where it is, and we're at 28 trillion 750 billion, we've still got that little bit, but all the debt that we have to pay, that's when we run out by the 18th. Yeah, so that's what'll happen. But yeah, tomorrow's video, I get into that a little bit more. Do I think they'll do it? It's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because if either the Democrats are going to have to completely put their head on the chopping block, or it ain't going to happen, because there's no way in the world the Republicans are signing off on this $3.5 trillion pork barrel spending package. Jenny Pennington, ouch. I dehydrated ghost peppers and turned them into ghost pepper powder yesterday. Remind me not to come to your house for dinner. Quad. I saw somebody earlier said they made blueberry jam with a little bit of jalapeno in it. That sounded good, but ghost peppers? Okay. I'm the one that maybe, and I love spicy food. I might get a little bit on the habanero side, but forget the rest of these, world's hottest peppers, everything like that. No, not for me. I mean, what it could be good for, use that powder, spread it around your garden. I bet you that would keep the deer away. So there's a good idea for it, maybe. Let's see. Treasure Seeker says her box was in Southern California last week. Okay, so it gives you an idea on where those are. Patriot Raf, Lieutenant Colonel Scheller was put in the brig today for calling out his commanders. I thought he was put in yesterday, but either way, he's in there, yeah. But the funny part is JAG doesn't know what to do with him because there's not really a crime he committed, okay? Maybe they get him with a conduct unbecoming, but, they're trying to figure out what to do at this point because, yeah, you don't question the top brass, but that's not a prisonable offense. Let's put it that way. Sassy 56 plus. Thanks, Mr. P, for your help. 12 pints of sauerkraut today. Sweet. Now give it somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks, and then you should be good to go to eat it because it's still got a brine. But mine's got, probably a little bit more. I could probably taste it by now already. Northern Ozark Homestead, market sharply down first thing today. Any thoughts? Yeah, Dow was down 500 and something today, not about 2%. And again, that's on a whole bunch of, between the Evergrande news, between Janet Yellen's comments, but I think the biggest key, what's stirring up the market right now, was when the Democrats couldn't get any Republicans on board for their debt debacle. And I think that's what's scaring everybody because, of course, if the government doesn't raise, this is how silly it is. If the government doesn't raise the debt limit, interest rates will go up. Figure that one out. If we can't pay the debt, then we're going to, well, I guess not because they're the one paying it. If the government won't raise the debt limit, therefore they can't pay the debt that they owe, then they're going to have to pay more, so interest rates will go up because other countries, individuals or whatever, are going to want more money because it's a higher risk to loan them money. So we'll see what happens. But then that higher interest rates coupled with inflation turns into recession. And that's Reader's Digest version. Okay. Any thoughts for 10/11 to 11/1? I mean, a lot better. October 1st to November 1st, a lot depends on what happens in the next 48 hours. Do I think they'll come up with something? Yes. It depends on who caves first. Honestly, I'd rather have them let us default. Screw it. We don't need to add more debt. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off now, deal with it, and that way our kids and our grandkids don't have $100 trillion in debt. I mean, guys, if you think about this, our GDP in 2020, gross domestic product, the combined money that was earned by everybody, every company, everything in the United States in 2020 was $21 trillion. Our debt is $29 trillion. So if every single person and every single company took every single penny that they made last year and gave it to the federal government, we'd still be $8 trillion in debt. That's how screwed this is. Okay. Hector Prepper, I don't drink, but keep a half a gallon of Shine on hands for friends. It's a good thing to keep for barter, too. I mean, that's why I said, showing you guys how to make the wine, how to make the Applejack, if you're making moonshine or whatever it would be. It's a good thing to keep for barter because God knows, and moonshine, again, because the alcohol in it is also good astringent. So, people are going to want that escape, and, there's not going to be the liquor store to go get your bottle of Jack Daniels if you want it. So, they'll take whatever they can get. And it's like, hey, if you've got something that's alcohol, because y'all know you make it, it's not something that you do in 20 minutes. It's okay, it takes 6 weeks to get this done, and that's it. So it's not like, damn, I could really use a drink. Well, I think I'll go make something. Oh, good, it'll be ready for you about Thanksgiving. A Cushnet Prepper, I heard that OPEC has refused to give the Biden administration any more oil. I know they refuse to increase production, but I haven't heard anything about, cutting off supply or anything like that. But if I'm reading your question correctly. But yeah, when Biden was begging for them to increase production, because of course gas prices going up don't look good for him. So he wanted to increase production, and OPEC said, stick where the sun don't shine, Joe. Rebecca Adams, can I talk about what to do if you don't have a wood stove? I have a Mr. Buddy heater and figure we'd put it in the living room. Is there something more you'd recommend? Okay. Well, again, not knowing the layout of your house, but I'm assuming you're either on city gas or electric power, and so that's what you're talking about. I'm going to take a guess that you don't have a fireplace or anything like that. In that case, wood stove or anything. So I'm assuming that mechanically your Mr. Buddy heater is it. Now, in a cold weather situation, many of you guys may know of this, some of you don't. If you have windows that leak, go to the hardware store. There's this plastic stuff that you can buy, you can put over your windows, okay? Take a hair dryer to it, tighten it up, it'll seal your windows. It'll prevent any drafts, okay? What you can also do, you got curtain rods or whatever it is, hang blankets over your windows, okay? That will keep the cold air from getting in. Now, downside is you got to put those up and take them down because during the day you want to let that sunlight in if you have a south or east facing window. North and west facing windows, just keep them covered all the time. If it's very cold and you're in a situation like that, put a tent up in your living room. Okay, you can get the heat in that tent, and the tent will stay much warmer than if you're trying to heat the entire house with your Mr. Buddy. I will say this, never, ever, ever go to sleep with your Mr. Buddy on, okay? Because you will, all it takes is the dog, somebody roll over, kick it, whatever it is, and you just lit the whole house on fire, all right? That's not a way to stay warm. So, if anybody's starting to doze off, always should be 2 people awake. Just because if you only leave one person awake, all they need to do is go like that, and you're done, okay? So, once you're down to 1 person, that's it. You're done. Everybody go to sleep. But, yeah, the downside with the Mr. Buddy heaters is those little 1-gallon canisters of propane only last about 5 hours, guys. So what you can, you think about it. If all of a sudden the power's out for a month, what are you going to have? 150 of them stocked up or whatever it is? I mean, how long would that last you? 30 times 5 hours, or 150 times 750 hours. So there's a few weeks. I mean, and that's insane. So, extra sweaters, make sure you've got coats, long johns, sweatpants, mittens, gloves, knit hats, whatever. And I'll say this too, I don't care if you live in Florida, you need to have them. And if you don't believe me, ask the people from Texas last year. Okay? Gee, would you have rather had a knit hat and some gloves last year? Yes. Okay? Probably don't need to buy as many as somebody up in New Hampshire, but at least have something, dressing in layers, somebody just mentioned that, I believe. Always important, but make sure you have hands, feet, extra pair of socks, whatever would be. But covering your windows, tent, those are always good ideas. Kimberly House, my cousin from Virginia said it took him all day to get loaded with Nestle water, shortage of workers. Yeah, I mean, there's the other thing. People, it's a snowball effect. Gee, like I said about Kroger, we're going to get rid of some people so we can keep the profit margins up. Okay, now the people are remaining are asked to do twice as much work, and they're like, screw this, I'll not, especially when, you're working at Kroger making $12 an hour, and McDonald's across the street says we're paying 15. Okay. It's just interesting when you look at what companies are hiring and what companies aren't, and it's funny because you see that grocery stores aren't doing a lot of hiring. Dollar stores are. That surprises me, but the grocery stores aren't doing a lot of hiring, at least around me. Robert Bates, is there a guarantee that organic produce grown in the U.S. actually has viable seeds? Of course not. Okay, there's not a guarantee that the plants that the seed packets you buy have viable seeds. Y'all remember my story on onions last year? I tried 3 different packs from the same company. I got like 2 onions out of it. So yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee any seeds are going to grow. But that being said, guys, and I want to dispel one quick rumor too about seeds. There's a difference between organic and heirloom, okay? And remember, organic is, well, gee, it wasn't grown with any pesticides or wasn't grown with any fertilizers or anything like that. That's fine, okay? Heirloom seeds will grow fine too, even if they were grown with fertilizers and pesticides and everything like that. The seeds are still vegetable seeds, okay? And you'll get the same tomato, the same cucumber, whatever you had from the seeds. But hybrid seeds will also grow, okay? And people, you don't ever want to grow hybrid seeds. No, the only difference between growing hybrid seeds is you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, yes, if you grow tomato hybrid seeds, you're going to get tomatoes, okay? But you don't know if they cross the beefsteak tomato and a cherry tomato to get that nice little peach-sized tomato you had last year. Next year, if you take the seeds out of this little peach-sized tomato, you may get some beefsteaks. You may get some cherry tomatoes on the plant. It could happen. You may get something that tastes absolutely wonderful. You may get something that tastes like garbage too. But they will all grow. It doesn't have to be organic. It doesn't have to be heirloom. As long as it was grown in the United States, it will grow something. Okay. Morning Light, Dollar General Manager near me cannot tell when a shipment may come. Same I'm hearing here. Jordan Paul, do I freeze my seeds? No, I don't. I just keep them. The seeds I collect for my garden, I just keep in a regular white envelope, seal the envelope right on the front, whatever tomato or beans or whatever it is. Throw them in a drawer, dark, dry place. That's it. And I've never had any problem. So I know plenty of people can preach on freezing seeds, and it works. Okay, it's not something I do. Michael Beatty, how do you get corn seeds from the plants? Well, you got to leave it on the stalk long enough until it dries out. The cob gets all nice and brown, and then, or the husk gets all nice and brown. Then just leave it on the counter or whatever it is until you can literally crack the seeds off the cob. Just let it dry naturally. Jenny Pennington, I got 2 packs of heirloom cantaloupe seeds today at work. Rural King. Cool. I hope you got some extra pantyhose. And you're wondering why I'm going to say that. Pantyhose make a great hammock for cantaloupe because cantaloupes kind of like to vine. So, but because, you know, the weight of cantaloupe, it will pull the whole thing up. So let the cantaloupes go up the trellis. When cantaloupe starts forming, get some pantyhose because it stretches. Tie it to your trellis. Put the cantaloupe in your pantyhose and it will support it and it won't rip down your plant. Brandy, thank you for the super chat. I couldn't read it come through on my phone. Okay. Read this here. Cannibalism, people attitude wrong. So, okay. So in 1 year, 1929, again with the stock market, war because the UN deal, in 1 year, 1929, again with the stock market, right, the depression, war because the UN deal of the 60s crap, and the changed dictators, the writing of laws changed, 1974, gas shortage, all in the same year. I see what you're saying. All these crises can lead to big problems. Let's hope it doesn't lead to cannibalism, okay? Joe's a mess, but we're not North Korea yet. So, yeah. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying is it could get ugly real fast. But let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Yui Hose T, where would be a safe way to save gas on your property? In a garage, in a shed, somewhere outside. Another good way, the way I've got it here is, obviously it's in gas cans with the lid on it and everything like that. And then I've just got a tarp thrown over it. It's away from the house, and a tarp thrown over it. So, no water gets into it, nothing, because water could still, they're not airtight. So, but yeah, just outside. That's it, out away from the house. In the garage, okay, that's fine. In a shed, okay, that's fine. As long as this time of year, not as bad because now obviously it's not going to be 120 in your garage. But you want to have it somewhere where it's going to stay at a cool temperature under 100. Let's put it that way, because obviously summertime, forget it. You're not going to bring it in the air conditioning. Silver Possum, people will only be worried about food and fuel soon. Yeah, that's what I was saying at the top of the show, is you're going to see, it'll happen this winter. I think that's when you're going to see the run on food, like we saw the run on toilet paper last year, because the warehouses are getting less and less and less and less in them, and eventually that's going to start showing up in the stores. Like I said, I know everybody says, oh, the stores still look pretty good. That'll change in a drop of a hat, because once one person, like I said, says, oh my God, there were 2 cans of pork and beans left, poof, everybody's at the store and the store's cleaned out instantly. Prepper Brian Keith, my main name, not this name. Is there a reason why my comments aren't being allowed to show up in chat? Cannot see it showing up in chat. I don't know. I can't answer that one because I can't see the comments. Unless some sort of setting you got in there doesn't work. So, Brandy F, remember Maslow's theory, 4 basics, social, psychological, back to basics. Yes, and I talk about back to basics a lot. You've got to start preparing your life so you can live like it's literally the 1800s again. Can you survive in that kind of scenario? North Shore saying, grow your own seeds, folks. Yeah, save them. If you got them, save them, okay? I understand some of them are a little more, saving cucumber seeds or zucchini seeds or something like that, pretty simple. Carrots, okay, onions, that's a little more difficult, right? So you know what you can save, you know what you can't. So if you can't save them, buy them now while you can. Buy 5 packs of them. Hey, I'm only going to plant 1 next year. Great, now you got 4 more years worth of seeds. Seeds aren't only good for 1 year, guys. You may get a little bit less germination, but gee, if you get 95% germination next year, and 5 years from now you only get 70% germination, you still got 70% germination. Okay, you still got seeds. So, you know, stock up what you can now. Not only, I mean, seeds don't take up a lot of space, okay, and they ain't going to get cheaper. So, you know, if you can find seeds on sale, buy them. It's not going to hurt anything, especially when you go into, you know, the dollar store or whatever, and they got, you know, 4 for $1, or 10 for $1, or something like that. I mean, come on, you know, you go online, you see somebody's like, I went to the grocery store the other day and I bought a dozen heads of garlic because it's about time to plant garlic. It's 58 cents a head. Okay. You go online to buy garlic, it's $6 a head. Okay. I'll pay 10% less. I don't care if it's fancy garlic. I need food. I need garlic that'll grow. Garlic at the grocery store grows fine. You know, it'll grow garlic. That's it. I'm not looking for, you know, luxury garlic or something like that. Corey Joe, what's my thoughts on Bitcoin? You must be new here. And I'll just give you this. Bitcoin is a fool's errand. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. No power, no Bitcoin. You want to lose all your money. You know, I mean, all somebody got to do is shut the lights off and you got no money. Yeah. Sweet Rebellion. Could I reference the video on the generator powering the solar generator up to 11 hours? Okay, I know what you're talking about. My gas generator, where I can use it, where I can run it for an hour to charge my solar generator, which my solar generator then can power my fridge for 11 hours. It wasn't a specific video. I did the review on the solar generator, but I don't know if I talked about it in there. I talked about it running the fridge for 11 hours, but I don't know if I talked about the gas generator. But I know we've talked about the gas generator to charge the solar generator in a couple of live streams. I don't know which specific one it's going to be. I'm sorry. There you go. Midwest Mom. Saved seed from organic butternut squash last year. Grew enough this year to share. There you go. And I'm hoping that not only did you save the seed, which obviously you did, but whoever you shared it with saved some of the seed too, because you know it's viable, good seed in your location that's already acclimatized. Conserve Friends, a managed collapse of the economy in the country. Yes. And I mean, it's funny because, you know, somebody asked earlier, you know, who's the marionette master here for Biden, you know, and whether it's Xi Jinping, whether it's Klaus Schwab, whether it's the Rothschilds, whether it's whoever, it really doesn't matter. Okay. All we know is whoever it is evil, and we've got to resist. That's the only thing I can say. You know, they can't get everybody. If we're self-sufficient, they have nothing they can offer us, you know, unless of course they come rolling over the hill in tanks. That, you know, if the only option I have is, you know, a bullet to the head, fine. I'd rather live on my feet than die, or, you know, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. So Lee Derby, local Wendy's restaurant couldn't sell soft drinks due to no cups available in Buffalo. Again, plastic. Not a big, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wendy's is also uses Pepsi products. Okay. About that time where I gotta vibrate the vocal cords. Catgirl66. What do I think about Hinckley being let out? I'm sure it wouldn't happen if he tried to kill Obama. Yeah, don't you like that? Within a couple of weeks, Sirhan and John Hinckley get let out of prison. Okay. You know, I'm sorry. Neither one of them should still be breathing. Okay. I mean, Sirhan was originally sentenced to death, and of course the pansy liberals overturned that. And then of course Hinckley was found mentally incompetent, you know, and I always said, gee, because, you know, mentally competent people always go try to assassinate presidents, right? So, yeah, no, sorry, neither one of them should still be breathing. BMH, was I able to find that Amazon City video? You mentioned these cities work for Healthy Chocolate. I'm guessing that wasn't addressed to me. Kimberly House, can anyone tell me the difference between oxygen absorbers and silica packs when canning rice? For food, you want to use oxygen absorbers. Silica packs are more to keep moisture out. Okay, you're trying to get the oxygen out. Silica packs are used for primarily like electronics devices and stuff because they're sitting in a box. You don't want the moisture and everything like that to corrode wires or anything. So oxygen versus moisture. And I gotta find where we are again. Okay. CJ75, Pinball, do I have a video on how to save seeds? Yes. If I can, let's see if I can find it real quick. Seeds. Maybe it was on, hang on a second. It might have been on the other channel. Let me look. Yep. All right, give me a second here. All right. All right, there you go. I just put it on the bottom of the comments there, so you got it. Tina Jones, my house will be paid off in 3 months. Can we please hold on that long? Go, and yes, let's hold on that long, please. But yes, please. I mean, I'm just starting to understand the feeling of not having a mortgage. It's like, holy crap, there's actually money left at the end of the paycheck. So, but nice feeling. Okay, where are we? The rooster. I'd rather eat lead than my neighbors. Yeah, I don't feel like eating people. I'm sorry. I don't have a good recipe for, 52-year-old white male. North Shore. There you go. Food, fuel, and heat. Yeah, and add water to that, and you should be covered. Well, and shelter. Colleen Rich Pickett, canned 30 pints of carrots today, potatoes tomorrow. My carrots all came out maybe about that long this year, but still, I'm still building my soil, so, you need better soil. Joe, thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. Drops Family Gardens has never had any bad seeds from True Leaf Market. Okay, I've never heard of True Leaf Market, so, okay, there's another one to add to the list, guys. Okay. Jurassic Pork Chop. There's a name for you. Do I think silver will continue to drop the rest of the year? I'm in a buying mood. I want to know what happens with, and again, like I said, next 48 hours is huge. Depending on what happens, we could see a pullback and a bounce. 22 is still really good support on silver. If nothing happens here in the next, if we don't pass this, keep the government open or whatever it is, you could see silver drop down to $20. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. Right now I'm in a watching mood. It's pulled back, but I'm not ready to pull the trigger on getting any yet. I still think there's a possibility of lower. Could be wrong. Okay, that's my strategy right now. Maverick B USA, once the run starts, all will disappear quickly. Oh yeah, you guarantee. Once the food run starts, stores are done in a day and a half tops. You know. Homestead Jen, Massachusetts. I loved your gardening video today. What kind of manure is your preference? Diane, thank you for the super chat, and yes, helping JW today that meant a lot to me too. Okay, first off, what kind of manure is my preference? Any I can get. Rabbit manure is about the best you can get because you can use it fresh. Okay, chicken manure will take maybe a month and a half to 2 months to compost, and you can use it. Don't want to use chicken manure hot. What I have most access to, because I need it in volume, I mean, it's a lot of little rabbit pellets for how much I need, is horse and cow compost, or horse and cow manure. So I use a lot of that because that's what's more easily accessible to me. But I mean, sure, if I knew somebody that had a huge rabbit farm and was giving away truckloads of rabbit manure, I'd be all over that. Vicky Savage, that caught this one. The more years you save seed, the better it adapts to your condition. Yeah, it's climatizing. That's very true. Kiss My Grits. Augustin Farms has number 10 cans of seeds. I see. And all right, now, I mean, how many tomato seeds is going to be in a number 10 can? 100,000? I mean, if I had a farm, maybe, but I mean, even if you think about a seed that's big, say corn, I mean, how much is in a number 10 can? You're probably talking, you could have an entire plot. I mean, I planted 250 or 300 corn stalks last year. All right. I mean, that was a package of corn. It was maybe a pound. I can't imagine how much. I think number 10 cans of seeds are way more than the average gardener's ever going to need. M. Hammer, 2-pound bag of garlic at Sam's under $5. There you go. Yeah, I mean, buy it, plant it. Depending on where you are, it's about time to plant garlic. You can also plant onions this time, guys. They will overwinter fine. Holy crap, it's 8:57. Let's see. Nobody asking questions. Autoimmune prepper, do you freeze seeds or not for preservation? You can, you don't have to. It works. I don't. Some people do. Works both ways. I've never heard anything that one works better than the other, whatever. I've heard people with success on both sides. Derek Gardner, pinball with the Grand Solar Minimum. What kind of winter this year? All right, from what I have heard, is the Northeast is supposed to be very cold and very snowy. That's like everywhere from Chicago down to Cincinnati and all the way out to New England. The South, where I am, okay, down here, supposed to be very cold and very wet. And basically everything west of the Mississippi is supposed to be abnormally cool, not cold, and very dry. That's what I've heard. So, just kind of keeping an eye on weather patterns and stuff like that. But I mean, again, sometimes you're lucky if the weatherman can predict what it's going to do tomorrow. How the hell are they going to predict what it's going to do in 3 months? I'm expecting, like we've all heard, colder colds and hotter hots. I mean, pretty much the Southeast is about the only place that saw a relatively normal summer. So I'm kind of figuring that if 2/3 of the country saw weird weather over the summer, at least 2/3 of the country is going to see weird weather in the winter. All right, one more, and we will call it a night. Let's see if I can find it. Garrett Singleton, is that non-alcoholic beer any good? The funny part is I've been drinking this for so long. If I do have a regular beer, it actually tastes a little weird to me. But yeah, I like it, and I don't get silly. So, but I mean, y'all know, I mean, I'll have a drink with you guys, everything every once in a while. So, but, all right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. Thank you all, everybody, for stopping by tonight. Have a safe Tuesday evening. We will see you all in the morning, and keep prepping, guys. Take care. Pinball out.